If you think these two ladies had a story, I'm getting ready to rock the world with this dude. I met him 9 months ago, right here, and I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. But he kept coming back, and got to know him a little bit better, got to understand, his world, and then turned around, him and I was able to go to the PCU and do a little mini talk, and it went on from there. So I'm just going to let my man Jeremiah tell you his story. So come on up, Jeremiah. Don't be your dances, man. Pour your heart out, cry, baby. Come on. Tell them what you need.
Let's see if I can talk now. I'm losing my voice for about 5 weeks now. My name is Jeremiah Robert Dogwood. I'm a faithful believer in Jesus Christ, and with His grace and love, I have survived methamphetamine and heroin addiction. I am 37 years old, and I have lived through a life of active addiction for the last 26 years. 23 years of which I've used drugs daily in one form or another. I have been coming to Celebrate Recovery for 9 months now, and with the help of my brothers and sisters in Christ, I have come to a better understanding of what and who I am. I am currently in my first step study, and I am still evolving as a person, as a follower of Christ. With my eyes finally open by the love of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I finally understand why I was an addict in the first place. You see, for me, drug addiction was nothing more than a social form of self-harm. I had been a cutter for most of my life. I'm sorry if this is the first time some of my friends and family hear this. I have tried to kill myself numerous times to the point that I've lost count, just in an effort to try to stop the pain. I would cut myself when the pain, the thoughts in my head would not stop. For me, I could cut myself and I would bleed. It would give me control over something when I was losing all control. I could fix the wound and stop the flow of blood. It would take my mind away from the mental, emotional pain I was in. When people first started to find out that I was cutting my arms and my legs, everyone saw me as a dangerous and crazy person. So after my cries for help were not answered, I started to step up my drug use to more than I thought anyone was able to survive. But I did not die. I just got hooked on drugs and kept going more and more. 23 years, I have just lived wanting the pain to stop, even if that meant being dead. So now I have been clean and sober from drug addiction for over 13 months now. I still got my problem. That's a whole other story. I walk around here on the streets. I try to help as many people as possible. People ask me all the time, do you still think I would want to use? And I can honestly stand here right now in front of all of you and say no. Amen. But I'll go online and remember you. The thought of that blade cutting deep and taking that pain away is always there and may be until the day I die. The only difference is now that I'm not scared to ask for help when things are too much for me to handle myself. At my lowest and worst point of my drug addiction, I was using up to 24 grams of methamphetamine and 5 grams of heroin a day.
Oh my gosh.
I walked into a courtroom on October 6, 2017, and told the judge that I was an addict and needed help. If he sent me home that day, I was going to use and keep using. I also told him that I wanted and needed treatment and to lock me up in jail until I was able to get into some kind of treatment center. He gave me a 120-day shocker with inpatient treatment at a rehab facility that became available. So I went to North Central Regional Jail that day. When I got on my pod, I ran into an old friend that I used to use with. I told him I'd been up for a week or two, and I would talk to him once I got a little bit of sleep and ate dinner. After I woke up from about a 6-hour nap, I ate dinner and I walked up to the cell. When I got there, I was shocked. He was leading a Bible study. Later that same night, I gave myself to Jesus Christ and asked Him to save me.
Oh, how
With Christ in my life, I was able to say no to drugs while I was there and stay clean while I was locked up. So after 108 days of a 120-day shocker, 12 days ago my sons, I was able to get into a rehab at the ACU. It's a 28-day inpatient treatment center in Fairmont, West Virginia. I knew that if I'd just done the 12 days I had left when I was released, I'd be right back getting out. So I went to rehab. You see, I could get myself clean, that was no problem. I've done it a few times. But I needed the tools that were taught to me while I was at rehab to stay clean. 3 major things happened to me when I got to rehab. First was very traumatic. I was at rehab for 6 days when my middle kid's mother overdosed. CPS stepped in, took my kids and gave them to my mother until I was able to get out of rehab and I was evaluated to be able to take care of it. With knowing that I was all Mariah and Alex had now, it gave me a reason to fight harder than I had ever fought to make sure this worked. Rehab is also where I met my best friend and the soon-to-be mother of my next child, Miss Kathy. She was my light of sunshine when I was dark. We have been together now for over 9 months, and we have kept each other clean and sober, focused, and on the right path.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know, we weren't supposed to make it. We were supposed to be out within 2 weeks of getting out of rehab. Because you know, relationships don't work. You don't start one within your first year of recovery. You don't go back to the same place where you've got in trouble before. You don't go around the same people. But we made it. I also learned what a recovery coach was. From the first time that I sat down with a recovery coach and found out that he was a recovering addict, I knew this was something that I could do. And I thought I'd be good at it. Little did I know at that time, this was the reason that I survived all I've been through, and this is what I was meant to do and be. I was signed up for the recovery coach classes even before I was out of rehab. You see, I thought as someone that had been through what I had, then they would be able to point people in the right direction to stay clean and sober. On February 6th, I got out of rehab and got my children back in my life and living with me. On February 9th, I walked 12 miles in the snow to get to my first recovery coach class.
My goodness.
Kind of proud of it. Since then, I in advanced training, advanced ER training, professionalism, and ethics. But unlike some of our recovery coaches, and please, I am not trying to offend anyone here. I out on a one-man crusade to start a one-man war against drug addiction in this area. I would go out every day and I would fight addiction, or it was the biggest problem on the street. I would talk to addicts, some old friends that I got high with, and show them that there is hope in life after drugs.
Amen.
And if I could show them that I could and had changed, then there was hope they could too.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I had this idea that we don't have to always be addicted to drugs or even be recovering addicts. I believe that we can be recovered and no longer let our drug addiction define us as who we are.
That's right.
I do not agree with the fact of standing up here and saying, hello, my name is Jeremiah and I'm an addict. Because I am no longer an addict.
Amen.
My path to recovery or being recovered was not the most final way. I did not change my people, places, or things in my life, but instead I changed my perspective on how I saw and viewed everything in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I found out what my underlying cause that led me into addiction was in the first place, and I was able to reprogram my own thoughts to the point that when I started using drugs. Then I taught myself how to live a new life from that point. I had to give my life to God, and within Him, I was given a new life, free from addiction. But I was not yet free from my past. This leads me to last week. Let me back up just a little bit here, though. 2 years ago, I was caught selling methamphetamine out of the federal halfway house. I wasn't doing it for no financial gain. I mean, the guy that I was working with at the pack factory, we were getting high together. He couldn't get no meth, so I got him some. That was the gist of it. Sorry, security, so tell you the halfway house guys, I apologize, it's my fault. So last Tuesday, when I had to go to the courtroom and pay my debt for the choices I made in active addiction, I was facing 151 months to 180 months in federal prison. When I walked into that courtroom, I was sure that I was going to lose everything around me.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do at least 20 years in prison, and I was heading to Hazen, which some of you guys may not know what it is, but it's an high school. You go in with a bid of 5, and you come out with a bid of 25. But with the love and the support of everyone that came to my hearing and testified with letters and came to support me there. And the biggest praise has got to go to the miracle of God here. The judge was able to see the change that I had made in myself and what I had done for our community. I was given 36 months. The time I was given was the lowest amount of time that they were able to give me. That way I could still get into the RDAP program, which is a residential drug program. I have to report. I have to report to FCI Petersburg Low in Virginia on January 7th. When I complete this program, it will take 9 months to do so. I will have 12 months removed from my sentence. This also will give me 6 to 9 months halfway house. That I talked to the director today that no miracle of God I'm allowed back at that halfway house. Also, I'll get 52 days a year roughly for good time, which comes to a total of about 5 months. So I could be looking to be back home as early as 10 to 13 months if all works out my favor. This time away from my friends, my family, is my cross to bear for the crime that I've done. I will take my punishment as it comes and be thankful for finally being able to put my past behind me. This is where my path is taking me now, and where I feel that recovery coaches and recovery is well needed. When I first set out to help people that needed recovery, I wanted to help people just like me, so they did not have to make the same mistakes that I did, nor live through the same things that I had. I have survived a drug addiction, and I want to show others like myself that they can too. So with that said, the people that are most like me, or like I was, are locked up, lost without hope, and with no direction to make it when they are released. When we all are in active addiction, we commit crimes. Unfortunately, not everybody gets away with it. Some of us get caught. So now I have a chance, and I get to go in there and I get to help the ones that got caught too. I will make the best of this time the court sentenced me to. Help as many people as I can while I'm in prison. I have been in contact with the people that teach the recovery coach classes, and they are willing and have agreed to come to different prisons and teach the recovery coach class there. As I told you earlier, I started a one-man war on drug addiction over a year ago. Now I must fight this war on another front. I ask all of you here today to face drug addiction head on, and please fight my fight until I'm able to come home and fight this war once again. In order to fight and win this war, we all need to think outside the box. If the people that's come before us knew how to beat drug addiction, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I'd have never got out in the first place. You know, the Nancy Reagan just said no, as long will never work. So I beg all of you, please keep my dream alive, that we can win this war and not only find recovery, but finally be recovered and free from drug addiction. May God be with you. May God be with you, that the ones of you decide to stand up and fight this war. So now I bid you all goodbye and prepare to fight on the next front. I hope you can win this war while I'm gone. But if that's not the case, I swear I'll be back and I will fight with everything in me as soon as I get home. But until that day comes, I will no longer be one man fighting a war. When I come back home, I'll be able to stand beside each one of you and fight this together. God bless you all.
Everybody stand up. We're going to open up the altar. Let's open up the altar.